In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how you can automate Instagram posts with AI that are not only relevant, but also using high quality AI image models. So be sure to stick around for the full video. And if this is your first time to the channel, welcome. My name is Ryan, and I help executives and founders leverage AI to scale content, save time, and build a strong personal brand online. And if you want to know my favorite AI tools, prompts, and even automation templates, be sure to get my free AI Marketing Essentials Guide. You can find the link for this in the video description or pinned comment below. And speaking of free automation templates, once you get my free AI Marketing Essentials Guide, you'll notice the page looks like this. So if you scroll down under my free AI automation templates, if you scroll down even more under automation 4, this is the exact Instagram post automation that I'm going to be showing you in this video. So I recommend downloading the JSON file and following along with this. Again, you can get this free guide in the video description or pinned comment below. So in this example, I'm going to be using make.com. That's my AI automation platform of choice. But if you're more comfortable with N8N, Zapier, etc., you can definitely use one of those platforms too. So after you've gotten my automation template, you want to sign up for a free account with make.com. It's completely free to get started. Once you sign up for a free account, go ahead and click Create Scenario. And then what we're going to do is click this 3 dots on the bottom here where it says More, click Import Blueprint, click Choose File, and then we're going to find the Instagram JSON file that you should have saved on your desktop. Then I'm going to click Save, and this is the automation right here. So first, I'd recommend coming up and renaming this. I'm going to do Instagram automation. I'm going to name it Demo for this particular demo. And then I'd recommend clicking Save on the bottom here. And now we're ready to get started. So you'll notice the first module of this automation is an RSS module. And if I click into this, what I want this to do is I want it to watch all the different articles that I publish on my website. And then every time I publish an article, this automation would trigger and it would automatically generate an Instagram post that's related to the article that just published. However, what you'll notice is that I have my blog URL right here. That is not correct. The reason that I wanted to show you this, if I go to AI Insider Tips and then I go ahead and click my blog, this is one of the websites that I run. If I were to just copy and paste my blog URL, come into this automation here, enter it right here, click save, this will not work. Notice the error on the bottom right. If you guys can see a red message that just popped up there, this is not an RSS feed. So I need to convert this to an RSS feed. What you could do is come to a website called rssfinder.app, paste your blog page right here, click search. Now I have an RSS feed right here that's already created. Right here's my RSS feed. So I would click copy URL, come back to that automation right here. This is the demo. And then we would paste it right here, click save. And then what we would do is just click from now on, click save again. To double check that this works, you can right click, choose where to start, select the first RSS feed item, and these are all of my latest articles right here. So I know that this is working correctly. Now, let's say that your website, if you go to the rss.app, does not have an RSS feed tied to it. So I'm going to use one of my clients' websites as an example here. Go to rss.app, rssfinder.app, paste his blog section in right here. And what I notice is there is no RSS feed for his blog section. That means I have to create a custom one. So to do that, you can go to rss.app. You can sign up for free. You get up to 10 feeds that you can create for free. It's a 6-day free trial. So just keep in mind, this is a freemium model here. You only get a very limited amount of RSS feeds that you can create. But once you sign up for a free account, you click create new feed. You would drop that blog section URL right here, and then you would click generate. And now it's going to generate a custom RSS feed based on your blog post section. Then what you would do is click Save Feed, and then here is that XML URL right here. So I would copy this, come back to my original automation, and then I would paste that in right here. That's what you would do if you do not have an RSS feed that's already publicly available. So I'm going to go back to my RSS feed for my website, AIinsidertips.com. I'm going to copy this. Let's go back to RSS Finder, paste it right here. I'm going to get that get that RSS feed, copy URL. Let's come back to the demo, paste it in here, click save, click save again. And now let's move on to the next step. So next, you'll notice we have an image prompt generator. This generates a prompt in order to generate an image in the next step. And so if you click into this, what I would recommend you do is just use OpenAI. You can use Claude, Google Gemini. I would just stick with OpenAI for this. And you first need to establish a connection with an OpenAI API account. And in order to do that, you need to go to platform.openai.com, create a free account, go ahead and click billing. You must add some credits in here. This is going to be important for generating high quality images as well. I'd recommend adding maybe $10, $15, maybe somewhere in there, mostly for the images, but just for general prompts, you only need a few dollars. But I'd start with like $10 in here and just take it from there. So once you add $10 to your balance, go ahead and click API key, click create new secret key, give it whatever name you want, click create secret key. Then you would copy that API key, come back to make.com, click add connection, paste that API key, click save, and then you would be connected. Notice how I'm already connected, so I'm not going to do that in this step. Leave this as is. I would just leave the model on GPT 4.1 system. There's all sorts of issues with GPT-5 and make.com right now via API. I don't know what the deal is, so just 4.1 is good enough for this particular instance. And again, if you're using the template, this should all be ready to go as is, besides integrating your OpenAI account. Now for the text content, what you want to do, again, this should be ready to go for you, is I just want to explain why I have these certain things in here. So I'm essentially saying you are a prompt writer to generate high quality AI images. You'll be giving an RSS feed based on that article. I want you to create a prompt to generate that image. Use the title, so whatever the title of the article is, and also the summary to guide relevance, whatever the summary of that article is. And then I provide the RSS feed here, which is the URL right here. Now, some other image guidelines: aspect ratio, image dimensions, make sure it's high professional, make sure the image is as relevant to the description as possible. I'm actually going to change that. I'm glad I caught that to summary. That's a different data point there. So I'm going to go ahead and leave it as is, click save, and that is the image prompt generator module. Now for the next step, this is where we're actually going to generate the image that we'll post on Instagram. So if I click into this, again, what you want to do is establish your connection with OpenAI. You should have done that in the previous module, so that's an easy step. And for the image model, this is very important. I want to use GPT Image 1. I don't want to use DALL-E 3 or DALL-E 2, as what's the point of even posting on Instagram in the first place if we're just going to use garbage AI image models? Now, you don't have to use OpenAI for this. You can use Google Gemini if you want to use Imagen 4, Imagen 3, etc. I might talk about that towards the end and how you can use that instead of OpenAI's image models, but I first wanted to call that out. So I'd recommend using GPT Image 1, and then for the prompt, it'll just be the result of whatever that image prompt generator produces. That's what we want. And then go ahead and click save. Now, a very important step here that you're going to run into issues if you try to do this and you haven't taken this step is inside OpenAI's API platform. Once you're logged in, you want to click this settings icon on the top right. And then what you need to do is you need to verify your organization in order to use GPT Image 1. You don't have to do this for DALL-E, but again, what's the point of using these garbage AI image models unless it's very high quality? And this is pretty easy to do. I think they just basically verify that you are who you say you are with your driver's license or something like that. It's a pretty seamless process, but you do need to make sure that your organization is verified or GPT Image 1 will not work. So I wanted to make sure that I called that out first before we move on to the next step. Now, the next module you'll see here is a Dropbox module where I'm uploading a file. So if I click into this, I've integrated my Dropbox account. I have a folder that I created within Dropbox, and by default, it comes up with this file for OpenAI with the previous module. So this is very easy to set up here. Now, Dropbox is not free from what I understand. They have a free trial, so maybe you could try that. But I think it is like $5 or $10 a month in order to use Dropbox. And so the obvious first question would be, well, Ryan, why don't we just use Google Drive? Well, you could use other file storage solutions as well, but that's probably the first question that a lot of you are thinking is, why would I pay for Dropbox when I can use a cloud storage solution like Google Drive for free? Well, here's the problem with that. When I tried to do this, I don't know what it is with make.com and Gmail and Google Drive and these Google integrations, but it is such a pain to not only integrate your Google Drive account. I've done that successfully, but once I tried to set this up with the exact same automation with GPT Image 1, I kept getting this error about a Google Drive API that is not set up correctly, something about going to console.developers.google. And it was honestly too technical for me to even figure out. And so some of you could probably figure this out and go with Google Drive, but I just didn't want to waste the time to try to figure that out. So there are issues with Google Drive in this scenario. There's probably other ways you can set it up. I understand that. I have just found that this seamlessly works a lot better with Dropbox than it does Google Drive. And so once you have a Dropbox account, if you want to use a Dropbox account, all you would do is click add, and it's very easy to integrate Dropbox. It's not a headache like it is with Google Drive. Then what you want to do is create a folder inside your Dropbox account. I just did automation test here. And then so once you get your folder, click your file, go ahead and click save. Now the next module is a sleep module. So if I click into this, this is going to delay the automation for 5 seconds. Basically, I just want to give this enough time for the image to generate, for the image to properly upload to my Dropbox folder before I go ahead and move on to the next step. So 5 seconds is enough. You can do 10. I don't know if any more than that is necessary, but that's the reason for that sleep module. So the next step here is another Dropbox module for create and update a share link. And this is very important because after we upload an image file to that Dropbox folder, we need to create a public URL that we could then send off to Instagram for it to publish properly. And so that's the purpose of this module. So if I click into this, all you need to do is make sure you connect your Dropbox account, but we should have done, that should be easy since we just did that a module or two ago. So go ahead and find that, click and add connection, map a file or folder path, and then for file path, just make sure, double check that path display is what you want here. You don't have to enter anything else, and then go ahead and click save. Now for the next module, we have Blotato with the action of uploading media. So you might be asking, well, Ryan, why would we need to upload media again when we just uploaded, our file to Dropbox? And I had a pretty good conversation with the founder of Blotato, Sabrina Romanoff, and basically she was explaining to me that in order to properly post on some of these platforms like Instagram, they do require certain URLs and they blacklist other URLs from just things working properly. And so if I were to come into this media URL and then find the Dropbox URL of this download URL, click save, this will not work. I was running into several issues and headaches trying to figure this out. So that is why you need to take this extra step and then upload this to Blotato and then make sure that you're using the Blotato media URL in order for this to work properly. You'll see what I mean when I test this here shortly. But anyways, you need this Blotato module right here. And if you've never heard of Blotato, this is an all-in-one AI content platform. I use this every day to help automate my social media, among for client social medias and other use cases. I will leave this website in the video description below for more details. And just a disclaimer here, you do have to be a paid member of Blotato in order to access the APIs. But it is very important in my opinion, and I probably wouldn't use Blotato if I didn't have API access, and it's $29 a month, which might seem like a lot, but keep this in mind. There are a lot of social media tools out there charging hundreds, if not thousands of dollars just to access APIs to use in platforms like N8N, Make.com, Zapier, etc. And within Blotato's web app, you get unlimited AI writing, unlimited threads. So there's a ton of benefits to this tool for only $29 a month. I can't stress that enough if you compare this to almost every other AI marketing or content tool that exists. So that's Blotato. And I do have a review. You can watch my review in the description below of Blotato. I'd recommend starting there. And so once you sign up for Blotato and you log in, what we need to do here is we need to integrate first our API key. So from the dashboard of Blotato, click Settings, click API, click Copy API Key, come to your Make.com automation, go ahead and click Blotato, click Add, paste that API key right here, and then you would click Save, and then your connection would be established. Now for the URL, we want the download URL. This is very important here, and it should be ready to go in your template. I originally just had URL, not the download URL. I thought they were the same thing. Again, I'm not super technical. I don't necessarily understand the difference between URL and download URL of Dropbox, but you must have download URL for this to work. Then click save, and then go ahead and click save again. Now we're almost done, and the next step is an OpenAI module to generate the caption for this Instagram post. So if I click into it, all you need to do again is make sure that your OpenAI account is connected here from the dropdown. I'm going to change this to GPT 4.1 system. We don't need to use the mini here. 4.1 is pretty good enough. So now in the text content, basically all this is doing is I'm telling it to use the title of whatever that article is from the RSS feed, the summary for the description, and then I'm providing it the URL from the RSS feed. And then I'm going to go ahead and click save. And the last step is back to Blotato, where we can post via API from our Instagram account. So if we go back into our Blotato dashboard, click accounts, we'll click settings on the bottom left, click accounts. Then we need to click login with Instagram and integrate our Instagram account within Blotato. You'll notice mine is connected right here. Once you've done that, go back to make.com, click into this module. You've already established your connection in the previous Blotato module. Click your drop down here. For platform, you want Instagram, obviously. And for your Instagram account, choose your Instagram account from the dropdown. For post type, leave this empty. We're not doing a reel or a story. This is just an image post, so leave that empty. For the text, this is from the AI caption generator. So we want result, which is coming from that Instagram caption generator right here. And for media URL, I briefly explained this earlier. If I shrink this screen, I know you guys can't see it with my camera right here, but if I shrink this screen, this is the media URL that we want that's going to upload and post that image successfully through Instagram using Blotato. So once you have this done correctly, go ahead and click save again, and now let's go ahead and run a test to make sure that this automation is firing properly. Now to test this automation, what you can do is right-click the RSS module, click choose where to start, select the first RSS feed item, and this will allow us to choose anything we want. Here's an article on a Blotato review that's pretty relevant to this tutorial. Let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to click Blotato review, click save, and then I'm going to click run once. And now this automation is going to start, and I'm going to skip ahead and wait till this is complete. All right, so this automation went through successfully on the first run. Now let's come to my Instagram account, refresh the page, and here is the image right here. Now it's spelled correctly. I mean, this isn't perfect, but in terms of just general appeal, it's not bad. I went ahead and ran another one about my article on YouTube SEO. That's a very high quality image. I could even come back and say, I don't want people in it. I don't want headshots. I want to make it more generic. You could definitely refine the output here in terms of your image prompt generator module. So you could add all these other image guidelines. You could refine this, whatever your style is, if you have brand guidelines, etc. I just wanted to show you a very basic way here to make sure that the outputs are firing correctly. So that's the automation right here. So the final step of this automation now is to set a schedule. And so what you want to do is down here where it says scheduling, we want to click into here. And so what we would do is this really depends, honestly, how often you're publishing blog posts on your site, or if you're tracking another website, maybe they post more than you do. It's all about the posting frequency is really what matters here for scheduling. So let's say you post a blog post once every Friday. Well, what you would do is you would click days of the week, click Friday, and maybe it's at 8 a.m. So maybe you want to do 9 a.m. since the blog post goes out at 8 a.m. I don't know. The point I'm trying to make here is that you want to make sure that you have sort of a consistent posting schedule. This is also very common with YouTube repurposing automations. So let's do 9 a.m. Go ahead and click activate scenario. And again, every time a blog post is published, let's say at 8 a.m. on Friday, an hour later, this automation will trigger and it will repurpose that blog post into an Instagram post. But again, you can come back and change this whenever you want to a different schedule, depending on how often you're posting blogs on your website. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that or end that scheduling part here. But that is the automation for repurposing articles, blog posts, whether they're your own, whether they're from another website, into Instagram posts. And so if you've made it this far into the video, I truly appreciate you. And just a reminder, if you want this template for this Instagram automation, be sure to get my free AI marketing essentials guide. You can find the link for this below this video. But if you found this video helpful, be sure to give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. Also, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. What other types of automations related to marketing and content creation do you guys want me to cover? I really value your guys' feedback, so please leave me a comment below and let me know. But most importantly, I hope you all have a great day.